What is bad though? Well, Bad Santa 2 is bad. Let's just go with that. Not going to play a clip. Don't want to. Don't want to put you through it really. So we've been speaking about Christmas, saying it's too early and all that kind of stuff. Christmas, you know, different people have different reasons of knowing when Christmas you can start doing it. Maybe some people are Christmas films. So this is the first Christmas film of the period. Last year we had Krampus and the night before, Krampus. They were the two films that we had to signal the start of Christmas. This year it's Bad Santa 2, which kind of is perfect because 2016 has been one of them years where everything's been bad, and this is very symptomatic of that. So in Bad Santa 2, it's a sequel to a film from 2003. Billy Bob Thornton he plays a Santa. He's the guy's called Willie. He's a bad Santa. He is a mall Santa. That's a whole big thing. Is that just sit there in the mall? He's rude. He's bad, as is the trend with these films. He's something and then more so. So he sits there. He drinks in front of the children. He swears with them. He wheezes himself. He does all these things that are considered raucous. At the same time, there's this kid, 8-year-old at the time, I think the boy, little blonde kid, a bit dumb. Who he kind of gets close with all through it. Billy Bob Thornton's character is sort of very gruff, not very emotional person, and he has people in his life. He's got his mother, Kathy Bates, who's a bit not pleasant particularly, but neither is he. The whole film, I mean, I only watched it a few weeks ago and I wasn't impressed. I mean, it's like a sort of cult classic now, I suppose.
I think so. A lot of people do kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen like bits of it on TV before, and I didn't really, it didn't really get me then. And watching the whole thing, I was like, well, nah. So I wasn't looking forward to it, and having now seen it, I can say that one of the worst films of the year. Certainly, I don't see that fans of the first film will like it because it is such a departure. I mean, even though I didn't like it, I can see the merits of the first film. It's got that very black humour, like it's a proper dark black comedy. Yeah. Because of Billy Bob Thornton, the way he plays it, he's very, I don't know, I think the best way to use is gruff. He's just like, doesn't take any of it. He does what he wants.
He's a horrible character.
He's a horrible character. Yeah. He's fine with that. He's got no reason to change because he's happy-ish. The film starts this time with him trying to commit suicide, and it sounds bad, but that is the funniest part of the film because it's done in comical ways. Like it's not like it's funny because one of them die. It's just the way that he does it is funny. That's the high point of the film. From that point on, you've got the kid comes back. He's obviously like 13 years old. I think he's 21 when the film starts. Same kid.
I think
exact same kid. Exact same kid.
Like blonde hair and stuff.
Yeah, they've kept the whole same style. I looked at the guy's IMDb. He's not done much, so they must have called him. He must have sort of been waiting by the phone for this Bad Santa 2 to come out. So the first film being that dark black humour. This time they've gone for broad humour. They've gone very broad, as is often the case with comedy sequels. Think about Zoolander 2. Very broad, not very satirical like the first one. No. Very broad. Horrible Bosses 2 was tragedy. I love Horrible Bosses, the first one. Colin Farrell is great in that. The whole thing, Charlie Day, obviously brilliant. Horrible Bosses 2, phoned it in, trash. Hangover 2, Hangover 3 as well. Very broad, very boring, very forgettable, and it totally don't deserve to have the same title as the first one. Bad Santa 2 will join that list, but even lower down. It's just one of those horrible things that happened in 2016. So we've got Tony Cox, who plays the elf. He's the Santa, he's the elf. Yeah. In this one, I don't think he has any line that isn't "what the," and then the F word. Just the whole thing is just him going "what the," and that's it. It's very one note, very poor. All the time. It's directed by Mark Waters, who made Mean Girls. I mean, I'm not saying that he is the reason why Mean Girls is great. You've got all the reasons. Like obviously Tina Fey wrote it. Yeah. That's why it's good. I mean, the direction I wouldn't consider to be one of the most important things. It's just in this one, the direction is so noticeably bad. Yeah. It looks really shoddily put together. It looks like it's been. They've not even bothered. They've not even bothered.
They've just done it because okay, we need to say we'll just get it done.
Which brings me on my question, Billy. Why? Why have you done this? You've just had Fargo, which, let's face it, was like some of the best TV in recent years. It was fantastic. It's one of my favourite series, and Lorne Malvo is one of my favourite TV characters.
It was phenomenal.
To go back from that to doing Bad Santa 2, it just seems like why? Like, I get it's a paycheck. That's cool. Get some money for it. I imagine it paid him quite well, being the star that he is. I can see why, because fans have been begging for it, like all this time. People have been saying they want another one. But what happens when you want a sequel to a film that is good in people's eyes? I disagree, but is you never get the same film. You always get something that is far worse. I think it's very rare that you get a comedy sequel, particularly comedy, that is better or even equal to. This is just so shoddy, so bad, so heartless. I think it's so unpleasant. It's a really unpleasant cinema experience. I was desperate to fall asleep. Like I was thinking, I've seen enough. I'm bored now. I'm not going to walk out because I've got, I'm
Go to stay.
you stick to your word. And I was desperate to, so I just thought I'll fall asleep instead. And I missed about 10 minutes, and I woke up. I was like, no, why couldn't this be the credits? I kept looking at my watch. I looked at my watch more than any film in recent weeks. I think there's kind of when the kids are on the lap, like that's when he does his best.
Yeah.
When he gets to be Santa. The rest of the time, unnecessary plot. Kathy Bates is horrible, and that's the point. But if something is as unwatchably unpleasant and horrible and heartless, because the first one had some heart, this takes the heart out, rips it a bit, urinates on it, throws down the toilet, smashes the toilet with a hammer, takes the toilet to a landfill site and buries it in the ground, and then urinates on it again.
So pretty bad.
It's all pretty highbrow stuff.
It's not great.
All pretty highbrow.
No.
Bad Santa 2, do yourself a favour and don't bother. If you like Bad Santa 1, you'll think, oh, surely Bad Santa 2. No, just no, don't.
So
Don't put
should have
yourself
left
through.
alone then.
It should have been left alone. I mean, as I said, not really a big fan of it anyway, but I don't see why people who liked it will like it. It's very crass, more so than the first one, but unnecessarily so, which is just annoying. Like, why? Just don't do it. Anyway, don't.